Good morning, and we are live, man. I'm glad to be hitting it this morning. It's good to see you. Good to see you. We're going to talk about the Alex Pretti murder. We're going to talk about what's going on with the U.S. economy globally, on top of moves that Trump has been making that have just been idiotic and disastrous. There's a lot to talk about. So let's dig into it. Oh, and hopefully we're going to get a visit from Bobby Cole. He's a candidate for governor here in Texas. Good morning. Well, let's rip the Band-Aid off and let's watch this video of the Alex Pretti shooting. It is just a murder. It is hard to watch, and I do want to apologize. The audio, the people have taken to whistles to warn when ICE is around, and there is somebody that is just going to town on a whistle during this video. So yeah, it is what it is. But I do want you to pay specific attention to a couple things. They are stepping all over Alex Pretti's hands. His hands are on the ground. Yes, he was carrying a firearm. It's legal to do. Minnesota's an open carry state. Republicans have been pushing that for years. He had his concealed carry permit and never touched his firearm, ever. I like this video because it shows a little bit more of what was going on. Alex Pretti was directing traffic when he was told to step to the curb, and he did. ICE just shoved a woman to the ground. It's just, the whole thing is just so awful. Every bit of it is awful. Every bit of it is awful. It starts with Customs and Border Patrol agent slamming a woman to the ground. And Alex Pretti just steps in the middle and says, "Hey, hold on, man. Hey. You can see it. And that agent, when Alex Pretti has nothing in his hand but a cell phone, that agent just douses him in the face with pepper spray. That's their go-to tactic to start every engagement, is they're just hosing people down in their face, and he using freaking bear spray cans, man. I mean, it's just they're drenching people with this stuff. It's heartbreaking. It is. Jordan Miller, yeah, we do need justice for Alex. Thank you for always being here, brother. But yeah, this is a little hard to watch, and the whistle is something, but just stick with me. Just stick with me. See, they're just shoving people. Just brutalizing people for no reason. Look at him. Pistol whipped him in the head. They're stepping on his hands. ICE officer takes his gun and walks away, and then they shoot him. That was murder. That was straight up murder. There's no other way to put that. That was straight up an execution. It was an escalation in force that was, there's no way in hell to justify that escalation in force. That agent was just being a fucking bully. It's just, it's heartbreaking. I mean, it is really heartbreaking. It is really heartbreaking. Dave Barone, keep repeating these incidents along with Epstein. You got it, brother. That's what we do here. That is what we do here. Keep people fired up for the midterm. Jamie Jimenez, watching Alex Pretti helping a woman that was part of who he was, and yet he didn't deserve to perish that way. Then the frozen crew agent clapping afterwards. Yes, that is something too. There are so many versions of this video. I recommend there's a version of the video, an angle of the video from the opposite side of what we just watched. It's incredibly clear. He posed no threat. He was literally on his hands and knees with his hands on the ground, getting the shit beat out of him. He wasn't fighting back. These were the most clownish, imbecilic, stupid agents I have ever seen. Bullies. I mean, what's justice in a case like this? What is justice? I mean, for this agent to watch this happen to his son, while, you know, the way Alex Pretti's parents are now having to watch these videos ad nauseum online. Imagine that Alex Pretti's parents have seen these and put a statement out about these videos. Imagine having to watch that happen to your son. Mr. Will, hey, Paul, here with you. Seeing this video made me physically ill, and I have been upset since. I think everybody is. I really do think everybody is. I do. I think everybody is upset. This is a video I prefer of Alex Pretti, just to give you an idea who the man was. He was an ICU nurse. Prior to this, he was involved in a cancer research program where he got some of his work published in medical journals. He became an ICU nurse at the VA. He took care of our veterans. And this is Alex Pretti showing respect to a veteran that had just passed.
Today we remember that freedom is not free. We have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and even sacrifice for it. May we never forget and always remember our brothers and sisters who have served so that we may enjoy the gift of freedom. So in this moment, we remember and give thanks for their dedication and selfless service to our nation in the cause of our freedom. In this solemn hour, we render them our honor and our gratitude.
That's who ICE murdered. That's who ICE murdered. And I will tell you, people are not taking it well. They are pissed. They are responding. They are. And I think the real slap in the face has been just how brazenly and boldly DHS and Border Patrol has lied about this. It's been just a complete slap in the face that DHS and Border Patrol has just openly lied about this and slandered Alex Pretti. They've just slandered him. They called him a terrorist, for God's sake. Did anything in that video look like a terrorist? Anything? And they're saying because he had a weapon on him, which is completely legal, that he was there to kill Border Patrol agents, that he was there to well, look, I'll just let them say it in their own words. I'll just let them say it in their own words.
Officers always try to use the minimum amount of force necessary
That's
to
a
either
lie.
effect an arrest, which in this case was more than likely 18 USC 111.
You're a
assault
fucking
on a
liar,
federal
Barney
officer,
Fife.
Where did
You're
he
a
assault?
fucking
Where
liar.
did he assault a federal officer in any of the video that you have seen? Because it looked to us from every angle, sir, that he was approached by them when he was helping another individual who was pushed down. What evidence do you have that he was assaulting any law enforcement?
Dana, we don't need a suspect's help in an active law enforcement scene.
When you say
We don't need his
suspect,
help.
what is
We
he
didn't ask
suspected
his
of?
help. That's an active law enforcement scene. He knew that was an active law enforcement scene, especially when the officers approached him, and it's very evident he did not need to be where he was.
So
and he
when
decided
somebody
on his own to stay there.
So when somebody is pushed down and a person's instinct is to help that person, when somebody's pushed down by law enforcement, you're saying that you just stand back and let law enforcement do what they're doing? I mean, is that really human nature?
You know, Dana, every situation is different. What our officers are faced with here in Minneapolis are chaotic.
Yeah, Barney Fife is a piece of shit.
With respect, it feels as though in some ways you're blaming the victim here.
The victims are the Border Patrol agents. I'm not blaming the Border Patrol agents.
He said that. He said that. That the Border Patrol agents are the victims here. He never touched one of them. Not one of them. There's nowhere in that video where he lays a hand on one of them, any of them. He did what he was ordered to do. They brutalized a woman. They shoved her down to the ground. He tried to help her up. And they started dousing everybody with OC spray. They are scum of the earth. Those agents that were on that scene are scum of the fucking earth. Mr. Will, 73. Hey, Paul, here with you. Seeing this video made me physically ill, and I have been upset. I hear you, brother. I hear you. I'm sorry. I caught that one earlier. I'm repeating myself now. Good comment, though. I understand. It's difficult to watch. Holly Ackery. I'm going with ICE equals Republican death squads. Accurate. Hard to be right or die with a, you know, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. If you can watch this and all you want to do is bitch about Democrats, get out of here with that. Republicans lie as naturally as breathing. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. These people with their don't believe your lying eyes bullshit. Chandra Patton on the, you know something? That comment just pisses me off so fucking bad. I will tell you this. Republicans, John Thune and Mike Johnson could end this with a stroke of a fucking pen. With the stroke of a fucking pen. But you want to tell me about, oh, this person in this district voted because, you know, they happen to be in a blue district, but it's full of fucking people that, you know, this happens, people. I don't know why you don't know this, but it happens. There are blue districts full of MAGA motherfuckers that have just traditionally voted blue, but they are MAGA to the fucking core with every one of their values, but they're represented by a goddamn Democrat. So you're going to have a handful of fucking Democrats that have to vote that way. Why don't you know this? There's always going to be a couple of them that do that. It's because of what their districts are. Republicans could end this with the stroke of a fucking pen. They have all the power, and all I hear is people saying, well, the Democrats, fuck you. I am so sick of that shit. God damn it. Greg Edmond, because the government lets them wear masks, they believe they are untouchable. Yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. Another great comment is Mitch McConnell used to keep his party together. Or, you know, Schumer better keep his together. We're not Republicans, people. I don't know why you don't know this. I don't know why you don't know this. You're the smartest fucking people around. Why don't you know this? We're not Republicans. We're not. We don't goose step. We never have. We are not the same. So no, Chuck Schumer is not in the same position that Mitch McConnell was. He's going to get some asshole out there that's going to vote the other direction. They'll vote with us 95% of the time, but when shit happens like this, they're going to just do their own fucking thing. This is why we need an overwhelming majority of very left Democrats. This is why I'm trying to pull the Democratic Party left. Oh. New West bill, it's getting harder and harder to sit on my hands. I know my anger will allow them to escalate. And y'all have to forgive me. I got a raging fever right now of like 101. And it's making me just a little bit short. And I do apologize for yelling and all this. I just, if your go-to and watching this is but the Democrats, you need a refresher on who is running our government. And it's not the Democrats. They're in the minority in Congress, in both houses. They don't run shit. ICE equals Inhumans covering up for Epstein. That is a fact. That is a fact. Jordan B. Miller, Schumer and Jeffries are doing a great job. They're doing their job. They're doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. You know, I keep seeing online these people that are like, oh, why didn't Schumer say this? Oh, why did it have this Democrat? Why did AOC say this? And why didn't Hakeem Jeffries say it? And this, that. That's not what they do. You didn't see that from Mitch McConnell. He did not lead the messaging. He just didn't. They would give press conferences and they would state their opinion as leader, and that was it. Everything else was handled by members of his caucus. That's the way it works, folks. And you don't want them wasting their time on that. That's not what they do. That's not what their job description is. And yes, Chris Murphy, I see your comment there. Chris Murphy is kicking ass. He's out here doing his job.
You heard my interview with the chief, Greg Bovino, defending his agents and killing Alex Pretti, saying that they were impeding law enforcement despite video not backing that up. What's your reaction?
Dan, I thought that was a bone-chilling interview. I was shaking as I was listening to it, in large part because it takes just an unbelievable amount of gall to lie to the American public. I mean, everybody saw that video, and yet there he was telling you and telling the American public that this young man was brandishing a weapon, that he was impeding officers, that he was there to attend a riot, that he was engaged in assault, when everyone can see that that's not true. It should freak the American public out that the Trump administration lies this easily.
Amen. 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 That is true. He's not the only one. Chris Van Hollen is nailing it also. Chris Van Hollen is out there nailing it. They're doing their job, people. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Stephen Miller has gone so far as to label the victim today as an alleged domestic terrorist. What do you make of that kind of language and using that to describe the man who was killed today by federal agents?
This has become part of the disgusting White House cover-up of these killings. They said the same thing about Renee Good. They really think the American people are stupid. I mean, we can all see the videotapes. We saw the videotapes with Renee Good. We've seen the videotape today with Alex Pretti. It is clear that Stephen Miller and this White House are engaged in a cover-up, and it's criminal to try to cover up a killing like this. Look, the reality is that the real domestic terrorists, they're in the White House right now. They're people like Stephen Miller. They're people like Donald Trump. They're the ones who are terrorizing the community, these communities, having nothing to do with public safety.
He nails it. He nails it. He nails it. I apologize for getting so angry, but I tell you what, man, if your first instinct in watching this is the Democrats, you have no idea who's running this government. You have no idea how fucking easily John Thune and Mike Johnson could put an end to this all. They could end it all with the stroke of a pen. Chuck Schumer cannot. Hakeem Jeffries cannot. He is the minority leader. It's in their title. John Thune is the majority leader. He has all the power. We can't even call for investigations in the minority. I mean, we can ask, pretty please, can we have one? But we can't call one. We don't control shit. You know, and I just seeing people, way too much that narrative's gotten out that this is the Democrats' fault. Way too many people have got used to the Democrats running things, so they can't wrap their head around the fact that the Democrats aren't running shit anymore. And this is what you get when Democrats aren't running the show. Yeah, no kidding, right? That going from "don't tread on me" and "I need my Second Amendment, I need my guns" to go ahead and shoot the protesters. Yeah, I mean they turned into bootlickers so damn fast. I mean, it's not even funny. They turned into bootlickers so damn fast. Jordan B. Miller, Grinder Mike Johnson does whatever Trump tells him because he is a worthless coward. And, that's the takeaway. Republicans could end this today. Today it would be over. Today it could be over. And they won't. They're not doing it. They need a huge refresher on how our two-party run government actually works. We are not a parliamentary style government like they might think. It doesn't work that way, folks. It doesn't. Cassie Lake, at the point where people pick tribe over truth, sad to see from Canada. That is a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. One second. One second. Glenn Kaneko for the cussing jar, but I agree with everything you said, including the cussing. I appreciate you, Glenn. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. That's huge support. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Now I'm back up. I'm caught back up. It's going to take me a second. I apologize for the delay. Josh Jameson, hey, Paul, I'm tired of folks on our side not realizing the Dems don't have the congressional leverage they think they do, and then they blame Dems because folks can't see past the end of their nose. You know, what bothers me are people on our side that don't understand things like, yeah, there are blue districts out there that are, you know, if you peel the blue of the way they vote, they've just traditionally voted blue, and their rep caucuses with us and votes with us the majority of the time. The people in those districts are as red gets on every issue. And those reps have to serve those districts and have to get reelected in those districts, or we lose it. Or we lose it to the Republicans. That's going to happen, folks. It is. It's just going to happen. And people need to understand that. We are not the Republican Party. We're not. We are a huge tent. I mean, we are from all the way over here as socialists can be, to all the way over here to people you couldn't tell the difference between them and MAGA. That's our party, folks. It's all there. It really is. It really is. Vincent Day, no need to apologize. I think we all feel the same. No, I shouldn't lose my temper. I shouldn't lose my temper. It really makes me mad when people say that shit. It really does. For the calming jar, I totally understand your passion. Thank you, Martha. I appreciate you. New West Bill, our Democratic reps are doing the most they can with their very limited power. Maybe we should offer our help to them instead of expecting them to save us. Well said, sir. But yeah, there is more to it. There's more to it. You got Chris Murphy, a little bit more to his review. He is killing it. Democrats are out there doing the work.
The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, sent a letter to Minnesota officials offering to take ICE out of the state if Minnesota does three things. First, share all of Minnesota's records on Medicaid and food and nutrition service programs. Second, repeal the sanctuary policies. And third, allow the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department to access voter rolls. Your reaction?
So I think you're getting to the bottom of what's happening here. And I wish this weren't true. But Donald Trump has made it clear that he intends to try to interfere in the upcoming 2026 election. He says that his, one regret from 2020 was that he didn't take the voting machines. And it is really alarming that in this letter, Bondi says, well, we'll get the ICE officers out of Minneapolis if you give us control of your voter lists. It has always been, I think, the fear, and now I think closer to the reality.
Yeah, she said that. She really did say that. I have a link. You know what? I've got a link to it on my social media. I'll show you what we're talking about. She really sent this letter, folks. This is page 2 of the letter. This is page 2 of the letter from my social media on Blue Sky. You can read the second page of the letter where right here, yeah, actually she says, hey, we'll take everybody out as long as you give us your voter rolls. Remember, states run elections. They're trying to take everybody's voter data and hand it over to the federal government. And then they're giving it to their tech bros. And they're doing it because they're going to systematically challenge your voter registrations. They do it every year. They're just trying to put it on steroids this year. Every election they do it. They've done it forever. But they've had to do it on the local level. And it's not that efficient. Here comes companies like Palantir, and they're like, oh, well, we can put AI to work on this. And we saw how well that worked with Doge. We're going to have to be so good in this election. We are going to have to be on top of our voter registration. They're going to cheat. And yes, Pam Bondi just let the cat out of the bag. She just told Governor Walz, we'll take those ICE agents out that are murdering people in your state. We'll take them out if you give us the voter information that we asked for and you refused. And I just want to remind everybody that here in the state of Texas, we all like to think we're all independent, but no. Greg Abbott and the Republicans, they licked that boot right away. They handed over, here you go. So yeah, here in the state of Texas, we're going to be against it, man. We are. Because Greg Abbott just rolled over for Trump. No pun intended. Joan Prim, do you think we will ever recover from this at all? Yeah, we will. We will. We may never be the same, but we'll recover. Rich Lawton, this evil sure hurts. Let's vote for these Republicans out of the dog catcher job. Every job. I get you, brother. I get you 100%. And, I just want to touch this again. Do you think we'll ever recover from this? We will never be the same. We will not. We will never be the same after this. Because I will tell you right now, who trusts law enforcement? You got half of white people, the bad half, that trust law enforcement. Nobody else does. And that's a goddamn shame. And I don't know how they get that trust back. They're murdering people on our streets on video and then just blatantly lying about it. Just blatantly lying about it. Robin DeHood, they think the appearance of fighting is what counts. I don't agree. The strategy is way more layered. That is a fact. That is a fact. Government is not run on social media. It is not. You have to fight on social media, but it is not run on social media. And too many people don't know that. Celia Cameron, thank you for being here. Big support. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all your comments. When the people that are not hard left or right, approximately 20-30%, do not get out to vote, this is what happens. We need to do the work. Get involved. Yep. Yep. You know, that's pretty blatant what Pam Bondi did there. I mean, pretty blatant. I mean, there's no hiding it. She just sent a letter that said, okay, we'll take them out. It was never about immigration. We'll take all the agents out. We will. We'll take all the agents out. Pam Bondi, oh man, that's harsh, is an extortionist. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Angela Pierce, thank you. Thank you for being here. She is an extortionist. She is. I mean, they're not even hiding it. They're not even hiding it. It's not about immigration. If it's about immigration, why would turning over your voter rolls get them to leave? It's insane. It's insane. Coach Eagle, the weak ass idiotic Republicans are worried about being primaried by Trump. So instead they follow him to the political death chambers. That is a fact. They're literally destroying their party. Nenang, thank you for being here. Amy Manuel, Texas turned over its voter rolls like Willie's saying, vote them out. Yep. JB Pritzker has some thoughts as well. This has been his social media account, and they are just nailing it. I mean, one right after the other. Keep your eye on, this is his PSA on the weather, but Donald Trump's agents are untrained, unqualified, unprofessional, and dangerous. It's time for them to stop their assault on American cities. And that video is just a news clip. It's not something it's not a statement. It's time to abolish ICE. Masked federal agents in Minnesota just shot and killed another person. We must put a stop to Trump's ICE now. Stop the funding, stop the occupation, stop the killing. I mean, just one right after the other, I'm asking my fellow Republican and Democrat governors across the nation to have a unified response. We must all stand against the lawlessness being inflicted in our states. And Governor Newsom came out hot. No new funding. Kristi Noem must resign. Greg Bovino must be fired. Suspend the lawless mass deportation raids nationwide now. ICE is no longer just deporting dangerous criminals. Send the Border Patrol back to the border. In the militarization of ICE and the sick racial profiling, in the perverse cash incentives that are bounties to perpetrate Trump's cruel agenda. Require thorough, real background checks for everyone and 2+ years of training before even setting foot in the field. Investigate and prosecute every single federal agent who is breaking the law. No. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, people have had enough. This feels like that, one of those moments that there's no going back from. I mean, to just, the lies aren't working and they're just pouring gasoline on the fire. I mean, they are just pouring gasoline on the fire. Senate Democrats to block government funding after second fatal shooting in Minneapolis. I want to prepare people for this. I want to prepare people for this. You know, you want ICE defunded. I want ICE defunded. Everybody wants ICE defunded. That's a decent human being. If you're not some bigot freak MAGA, you want ICE defunded. They've proven themselves to be an unnecessary, worthless police force. But I just want to warn you, as I've seen this movie before, Republicans don't care if the government's shut down. In fact, they kind of like it. They do. Especially if they're not the ones shutting it down. And we'll be the ones shutting it down. They're not going to give on ICE funding. They're not going to. So they're just going to sit there. And TSA agents aren't going to be paid. Government employees are going to be furloughed. And eventually it's going to become clear that there's just no negotiation to be had. And when that happens, Democrats will reopen the government. They will. Because what's the point of people not getting paid if you're not going to get anything for it? Why just hurt people for no reason? And the Republicans absolutely love, I mean, they absolutely love their Broligard donors, all of them, love for the government. They hate government, people. They try to destroy government at every turn. Shutting it down is just Valhalla for them. There is no incentive for them to make a deal. They'll just sit back and let it be awful, and they don't care. And all of those people will hate that are hurt by the shutdown, will hate Democrats for doing it. They will. Especially those people that have no clue, that don't pay attention. Believe it or not, there are people out there that don't know Alex Pretti was murdered yesterday by ICE. There are. All of those people will hate Democrats. In the last shutdown, I heard union members bad-mouthing Democrats. In the last shutdown. Yeah. I mean, I went to an event. I was sitting at a table with union members, and they were all just, this is the stupidest shutdown. They're not going to get anything for it. This is a waste of time. They're just hurting workers. Yada, yada, yada. That is real, folks. That is real. And then they're going to reopen the government, and then you're going to get the same people that are going to just say, oh, well, the Democrats caved. They don't care. No, they're going to reopen the government because they care. I've seen this movie before. If ICE is there for crime, why leave for voter roll? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. S.A. Query, yeah. You know, if it was ever about immigration or crime, why would they leave for the voter rolls? Hollister, 8109, the same sick bastards that defend guns after school shootings are suddenly up in arms about illegal carry. Patel is out there trying to say he had an illegal firearm. No, he didn't. Yeah, I know. They're lying. They're just slandering the man. Tube Kurt is in Minnesota. ICE is in Minnesota as brown shirts. Their entire mission seems to be justifying a spiral of escalation. You know what, folks? If it was about immigration, there are about 2 million illegal immigrants in the state of Texas. There's about 1.5 million in Florida. There's under 200,000, closer to 100,000 in Minnesota. This doesn't have anything to do with immigration. This is an abusive government This is an abusive government using law enforcement to abuse its own citizens. Jordan B. Miller, Trump wants a government shutdown. Yes, he does. Very much so. Very much so. Rhonda Bell talking about in Anderson County, Texas, they haven't received their new voter registration cards for 2026. Yeah, folks, this is what they're going to do. Don't listen to the people that say we're not going to vote because they're a distraction. It's not true. We are going to vote, but Republicans are going to cheat, and we have to be keenly aware of what they're doing. We do. Abby Normal, have any of these thugs actually been paid their murderer bonuses? Wonder if they'll start leaking info when they don't get paid. Oh, they're going to get paid. Oh yeah, they are doing. They are getting paid, and I will tell you this. This is why they are. This is the most money these people have ever made. This is the most money they've ever made in their lives. It is. They are going to do this with gusto, man. These are low life people. We don't have the agent's name yet. Christopher Daly, who shot Alex, but we don't have the agent's name yet. One second. Difficult to keep up with the chat. You folks are having, and again, folks, if you're watching this on replay, the people in the chat are the absolute best people. They are. You're missing half the show if you don't have that chat panel open. Crafty Gardner, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. Kathy K, thank you for being a voice of reason and for keeping us informed. Man, that's my job. That is my full-time job. I'm telling you, and look, folks, I wear it on my chest what I'm here to do. Somebody called me, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like a blue propagandist yesterday because I was very upset at some of the comments I was reading online attacking Democrats. Folks, let me tell you something. My job is to get people fired up and motivated for that midterm. It is. The Democratic Party doesn't pay me. I've taken it on as my personal mission. That is my job. That is what I do. Because I know, even though the Democratic Party isn't perfect as I would like to see it, it is the only ruling party in this country. It's the only governing party in this country. Republicans get a shit like this. Abusive government, abusive law enforcement, Gestapo on the streets, murdering Americans on the streets, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's no comparison between the two parties. I am going to do everything I can to get Democrats elected, and that narrative that, oh, this is somehow Democrats' fault, bullshit. Bullshit. I'm not here. I'm not having it. I'm not putting up with it anymore. I'm just not. ICE is ramping up in Central Florida. They want to convert a huge warehouse to a detention facility. Local Dems are doing what they can to throw sand. You know what? Good luck with that. Agent Cajun John, Trump wants land. Send him to Epstein Island and say, here you go, Donald, and leave him there forever. Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. Well said. Stephen Leach, cutting ICE funding does not stop Border Patrol unaliving. A shutdown is useless. It is. It is. They've already been funded. Those funds are already in place. This shutdown it's what the people want, but strategically it's a loser. Helen of Scots, thank you for being here. I just need you to get that out, folks. I need you to do your job. You are the smart people in the room. With that comes responsibility. When you start to hear that, oh, it's the Democrats caved and the different, no, you need to tell it the way it is. You need to tell it the way it is. If people had shown up and voted in the last election and not listened to, and it's these same, and that's the part that makes me so angry. The major accounts that came out talking shit about Democrats after the murder of Alex Pretti are the same accounts that were telling people to not vote in the last election. They are still suppressing the vote. They are still out there suppressing the vote. And it enrages me. It just enrages me. Obsessive Audio, DHS is just getting started. That's the hard truth. That is true. That is true. We haven't seen the worst out of Trump yet. It's all falling apart. It is all falling apart for them. And he's going to get more dangerous. Until he drops dead, he's going to become more and more dangerous. Monica Meadows saw a video from a lawyer at a detention center. He was asked to leave while seeing his client. Detainees were protesting the conditions yeah. I believe you're talking about Denton, shit. Now I'm tongue tied. Joan Cortez, thank you for supporting the show. And y'all have to forgive me. I am a little hazy. I do apologize. I meet a lot of people publicly, which means, and that's why I'm crazy about vaccinations and stay up on my vaccinations. I've had COVID, I think 5 times because I meet people, shake hands, and it's just the territory. And now I've got like a scorching case of the flu, and I've got like 101 temp, and I am a little bit hazy. So stick with me. Don't hate me, but my fear is that we will reach a tipping point where all hell breaks loose and start to physically revolt. Vote Dem in every election, no matter what. Taylor Emmett for Texas SD9. Why would I hate you for that, my brother? Because you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. This is where we're going, folks. If we do not elect Democrats in the midterms, if for some god-awful reason these hate Democrat accounts that are on social media suppress enough votes that Republicans survive this, you're going to see violence in the streets. You will. That's what you'll see for your country. You will see violence in the streets because there will be no backstop, nothing to stop them. There will be nothing to stop them. It will just go to the extreme. And yeah, people, if you look at historical records of people, the letters from people, even our own revolution, people took it for a long time. They took the abuses. It stopped when British forces were murdering and raping their neighbors. That's when it stopped. That's when people got violent. I'm telling you, I'm doing everything I can to tamp down the violence because it just plays into their hands. But if we don't win this next election, it really is, you're talking the end times. You really are. Rock and Ron, I heard yesterday that Alex Pretti's killers are Customs and Border Patrol, specifically the worst of the worst. DHS has several policing divisions. Yep. You'll hear me refer to them as ICE because that's what people know. They lump it all together. They do. They lump it all together. And I don't, it's just easier that way. AKA Murphy, but I love this. I love this. And going back to this person calling me propaganda yesterday, do you know how quickly when I say something that's inaccurate that you people get me on the right track? And I love that, man. I love that. There's nothing unfactual about anything I say. And if there is a mistake in there, y'all correct it immediately. And I love that about our community. AKA Murphy's Law. How about stop consuming as far as possible? Trump doesn't listen to people. He listens to GDP. Check Professor G on that. Yeah. I think you're going to start seeing, especially after this last killing, a lot more general strikes, a lot more. We were doing that once a month thing where we would just shut down and not spend, and we kind of got away from that. You're going to start seeing a lot of that coming back. Coach Eagle, what's your opinion on the possibility of the heavy-handed MAGA crimes happening in Minnesota because Walz run for vice president? That is exactly why it's happening. Donald Trump hates Tim Walz. He does. That's why Walz agreed to not run again. I hope you know that. He did it for Minnesota. He thought that would placate Trump. He's that unselfish. I mean, really, folks. Kay Cantley, thank you for being here. Trump has been an extortionist his whole life. The fish rots from the head. And he is surrounded with the worst people. The worst people. E.T., Paul, please go and get some rest. You've been talking to my wife, haven't you? Haven't you? George Allen, super secret. We've got some other things to cover. I just wanted to hear what you had to say on this. I really did, because there is more going on. Chuck Schumer just released this statement yesterday, and then what's happening in Minnesota is appalling and unacceptable. It goes along with the headline I just showed you. Unacceptable in any American city. Democrats sought common sense reforms in the Department of Homeland Security spending bill, but because Republicans' refusal to stand up to President Trump, the DH bill is woefully inadequate to rein in the abuses of ICE. I will vote no. Senate Democrats will not provide the votes to proceed to the appropriations bill if the DHS funding bill is included. So what you're understanding now is we're not guaranteed in a shutdown. Chuck Schumer is trying to negotiate it out to be a standalone bill. There we go. There we go, man. People just cannot help themselves. It's like y'all don't know what a fucking narrative is, man. It's like you don't know. So many smart people in here. And then to see that. Trump has minions making the quid pro quo deals now plausible deniability. When extortion is ultimately investigated, I don't know about it. You know what? It just has me so damn angry. I was so angry. Anger will spur you. It will spur you. It will get you moving. It will get you to do things. And I spent a good amount of time yesterday when I couldn't sleep looking at these accounts of people that say things like that. And, I didn't find one that supported a primary opponent of Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries. Not one. Not one that talked about leadership elections or anything like that, or reaching out to their Democratic senator. Nothing positive at all. Crafty S. Gardner, the Find Out podcast had Hope Walz on it. They are such a caring, giving, humble, beautiful family. They really are nice people. They really are nice people. Chuck Schumer is just telling people what he will be fighting for. he's laying it out there so that you can know. He's saying, look, I'm trying to negotiate right now, getting that ICE funding bill out of, the raft of funding, so we don't have to shut the government down over this. That's what he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. That's his job, man. That's his job. But they even lost the NRA on this one. After a milquetoast statement, NRA came out with this on social media. FA United States Attorney Bill, blah, blah, blah. If you approach law enforcement with a gun, there's a high likelihood they will be legally justified in shooting you. Don't do it. Remember, this is from the same people that, were basically licking Kyle Rittenhouse's taint. This sentiment is from the first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District of California is dangerous and wrong. Responsible public voices should be awaiting a full investigation, not making generalizations and demonizing law-abiding citizens. When the NRA finally speaks up, they've lost the script. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, ever curious about what Joe Rogan's going to say. For the first time in my life, I'm curious about what Joe Rogan's going to say. But there's more than that going on. I mean, as awful as that is, there's more than that going on. Trump has threatened Canada with 100% tariffs. Dow didn't like that much. It took a big dump on Friday. Futures aren't looking that great either. And what's ridiculous is he's talking about attacking our Canadian brothers and sisters economically. Because they made a trade deal with China. Because we weren't reliable partners, Canada did what was best for Canada. They made a trade deal with China. And Trump sees that he's driving our partners away, and he literally thinks that he can bully Canada back to us. It's insane. That man is insane. He needs to be removed from power, period. If we don't elect super majorities in the midterms, we really need to consider a 25th Amendment. We really do. I mean, I know you'll never get I know that you'll never get his cabinet to cooperate. You won't. Many people do feel sort of helpless and are not as well versed in how things really work, and we need to help to educate them and help direct their energy. I hear you. And folks, I'm going to tell you, the sharpness is, I'm a little under the weather. That's it. Trey 45, Torhater 10, flock and block surveillance cameras are going to be used to track protesters. Please do a segment on it. Texas Paul, Dems need to know about the freeway and neighborhood cameras being erected everywhere. I humbly disagree with you. Those cameras will be, look, folks, these agents, Trump can pardon them. It won't matter. It won't matter. But in 2028, when Trump's gone, there's no statute of limitations for murder. These cameras are vital evidence. They are vital evidence. We're doing nothing wrong. Don't fear people knowing that you're protesting. Don't. It's like people say, are telling people to not take their phones to protests. No, take your phones. Video everything. You know, the only difference between 1930s Germany and America today is that we've got cell phone video. It's not, I mean, think about that. Same thing's going on in 1930s Germany, but there was no cell phone video. If the government lied, the government lied. It was that simple. Maybe a rumor mill might start up, but that's it. I mean, that's it. You know, I'm telling you, folks, I humbly, respectfully disagree with you on that one. You want every camera you can find. Folks, they had a massive, massive protest in Minneapolis just a couple days ago with zero violence. The violence didn't happen until I showed up. So you tell me who has to worry about the cameras. It's not you. It's not you. I understand the sentiment and your desire to protect people. I get that. I do 100%. But I humbly disagree with you. I don't fear those cameras at all. I don't. Weirdo Idaho liberal, my fellow Star Trek fans, MAGA are the Packlids. They are awful. If you don't know who the Packlids are, I can't explain that to you. Chandra Patton, they need to save their videos. Yes, they do. They do. Because right now, the videos like that one I just showed you in the beginning are being taken down all over social media. They are. I'm telling you, these groups, like Turning Point USA, they have little groups inside them of people that act online, and they will report things that they don't want you to see. They will mass report them, and AI generally handles the first decision in these and fails. I mean, AI is shit. It really is. And they're able to get these videos taken down, and they're getting them taken down all over. It is a concerted effort by right-wingers, bots, and these conservative groups, nothing conservative about them, these fascist groups, better way to put it, are actively trying to get the video from the Alex Pretti murder taken down. They are. And Fox, as far as I know to date, Fox has not shown its audience the video yet. Joan Prim, thank you for being here, Joan. Do these mega morons not realize that what Trump is doing, it's making us very vulnerable to the rest of the world? It is. And on that note, I mean, it very much is. It very much is. And I will tell you, it's been truly something to see what has happened. If you had told me that these things would be happening 10 years ago, I would have thought you were being hyperbolic and crazy. Cell phones and cameras are our best weapons. Yes, they are. They are. Did you get freezing rain until? Yeah, it's white outside right now. Not too common around here, but it is white outside. Veggie Owl Girl, I carry a whistle on me. I cook for an organization that fights this. I volunteer at a community garden. Fight how you can. There's your hero right there. There's your hero right there. I cannot tell you enough. I go around and I see these groups and I see the people. And so many of them, and this is why I'm begging young people to get involved with their local Democratic parties, because I see these people, and so often it's people in their 60s and 70s and 80s, in some cases even 90s, that are making all this happen. And that's not what I'm saying. I don't know your age, and I'm not going to ask. That's rude. But we need young people to understand. Part of our teaching needs to be bringing young people into the fold it's problematic. It's difficult. It is, because they have this energy and confidence, but not the knowledge to back it up. There's not a lot of humility in youth. There just isn't. And we need to do it. We need to get them in these groups, and we need to get them educated on how things work. I mean, there's a local dust up here with a young woman that's trying to take over the Democratic Party that is just doing an awful, awful job. She's just alienating people, and just, I mean, I'm telling you, but we have to bring them in. We do. AKA Murphy's Law. Thank you for being here, man. Thanks for supporting the show. Late today, going to watch from the beginning. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Get involved, fellow low road Dems, and we can turn this crap around. Thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate you. Gail Marshall, someone on here recommended the documentary Hitler and the Nazis, Evil on Trial. Watched it this week. Oh my God, the similarities to Trump and his goon squad are unreal. Great Texas Paul community. It is. I'm telling you, the only difference between 1930s Germany and modern day America is cell phone footage. That's it. That's it. But folks, this is happening. This is really happening. This chart is from 2000 to 2025. This is the share of global foreign currency reserves held by the US dollar. I mean, look at that chart. It is breathtaking. It is unprecedented. It is unprecedented. The world is shedding the US dollar. They are watching us come apart at the seams, people. We have to right this ship. I mean, it's a matter of survival. It is just a matter of survival. Over and over and over again, you're seeing headlines like this. The dollar is losing credibility. Why central banks are scrambling for gold. And not only are they moving out of the dollar and into gold, driving gold prices up, which is bad for manufacturing because of, everything has computer chips in it, and gold is part of the computer chip manufacturing process, making everything more expensive. Even your toaster has a computer chip in it. Please confirm the Facebook group is yours. Yes, I have a Facebook group. I do. This is Texas Paul, Ride or Die Democrats. Now there are a lot of people that pretend to be me. There are impersonators like crazy out there. You go to realtexaspaul.com, and the link to all my social media is there, and the legitimate ones. But yeah, every day there are impersonators that pop up. Goldfarb developer, Goldfarb dev. Hope your coffee is as good as mine. Disgusting to see American Gestapo as a Jewish grandson of a Holocaust survivor. Shame on them all. Talking more about the Epstein files. Sasha Ryder, thank you, Texas Paul. There's also a subscriber group on Facebook, by the way. If you're a subscriber, there's a subscriber group on Facebook. But yeah, this is happening, folks. I mean, this is really happening. Germany wants its gold back. See, countries don't leave their gold reserves just within their borders for safety reasons. Colleen Sarah, took your advice and deleted my biometrics on phone. A bit of a hassle, but worth the security. If you're going to be protesting, I do recommend that, but put it back when you're done protesting. You know, don't inconvenience yourself unnecessarily. But yeah, it's something that, because I'm so actively out there in their faces, it's something I've done with my phones. You know, I've got to type in a pin every time I open it, but that's because of who I am. You know, if you're just out there protesting, yeah, delete it for your biometrics for the protests that you're in. When you get home safe and sound, plug it back in and be convenient on yourself. This is more than German economists now. This is actually something that, you know, you've got a parliamentary system in Germany, and several of the parties are pressuring um, the prime minister to actually do this. They want this done. They want those gold reserves returned. Currently, they hold about 1,200 tons of gold in the New York Federal Reserve, and they want it. They want to take it home. And they're not the only ones. Italy's doing the same thing. They just don't trust us anymore. They just don't trust us anymore. And it's not going to get better. I mean, and it shows. It shows. I mean, again, the dollar continues to slide. This is a 2-year map. I wanted you to see the difference. The first half of this map, that's Joe Biden and Democrats. That's the strength of the American dollar. And then look what happens when Trump takes office. From the middle of this map, he's handed this peak and immediately kills it. And we're down here in the doldrums now. This is really happening, folks. And there are people that are so concerned for our well-being that they want their gold back. They don't really trust us to hold on to it anymore. They don't trust Donald Trump to not blackmail them for their own gold. Jeff Schuler and Noam needs to be impeached immediately. Bovino and Miller need to be fired at a minimum over this blatant execution of an American citizen. I am beyond enraged. Get better, Texas Paul. And again, I'm sorry I'm sick again. I am. It's just, you know, I see people at the grocery store. They're, hey, you know, and I'm hugging people, and I'm exposed to a lot of shit. Shifting Lincoln, I've been in Minnesota for 28 years, can confirm it is not the state Trump describes it to be. I never thought we would be the litmus test for fascism, because that's exactly what this is. Yeah, Minnesota has a reputation for being a great state. I mean, it is the ideation of what you want America to be. And these Republicans are insane. They're just insane. AKA Murphy's Law 7190. DE here. Denmark here. All right. It sounds a lot like what my granny told me about the 1930s and what evolved out of this. I still love the U.S. I got friends, family there. Now I can take my kids there. Now I can't take my kids there. You got to turn that around. We will, but it will take time. It will take time. I mean, literally right now, we don't trust our own police forces. Jordan Miller, Japan is selling American debt. Yeah. Countries of Sweden just, you know, after news that they were thinking about it, actually dumped their American treasuries. You know, I'm curious. I didn't look this up for the show, but now that when you mention it, I'm actually curious what treasuries are doing right now. Cape Mary Light blackmailed. He'll just steal it outright and send it home out to offshore accounts. You know, I think they're afraid of that too. They're getting their gold while they can. Ah, Lord. Yeah, they're creeping up. Bond yields are creeping up. To Today, they're down 2 basis points, but they have been creeping up. This is over the last 3 months. You're just going to see those bond yields continuing to rise as people sell off their debt and it becomes less attractive. That means interest rates will skyrocket. And folks, it's things like this. They just can't govern. They don't realize that this job is first and foremost a job. I mean, it's a job. It's not like a game where you play like Christy Nome and just trot around and act like a model. There's actually a job, and they just don't do it. We knew this was coming. Weather forecasts are pretty damn good these days. We knew this was coming. Yet we still have the highest number of flight cancellations due to this weather front since COVID. Why? Can you not clear a runway? Can you not de-ice a plane? Pilots can fly in this weather. I mean, why? They can't govern. Republicans can't govern. We see that over and over and over again. And this kind of stupid. If you had to make a list before Trump even existed, if you just had to make a list, what do you think would happen if someone took over the country that was a Manchurian candidate, a foreign agent, a Russian asset, or whatever? What would they do to the United States of America? It would be a complete blueprint for the Trump administration. It would be a blueprint for the Trump administration. Todd Brown, strange that those who scream believe the women are so skeptical about, man, I ain't even going there, dude. I ain't even going there. Are you even in the right place? But yeah, Trump did this. Trump administration completes U.S. split from the World Health Organization. Yeah. Who on earth does this benefit? This is not a significant part of our budget. It's not. It's not a significant part of our budget. It's insane. It's insane. Gavin Newsom responded to that by assuring the World Health Organization that California will independently be joining the World Health Organization. But don't you understand how that weakens us as a country? Amazon, Elise Steele, absolutely. Measles approves this message. They absolutely do. And I don't know if you've heard this, but there have been measles outbreaks all around the country that they have traced back. I appreciate your email on this. They have traced back to the strain here in Texas. Remember the outbreak we had here in West Texas? Yeah, it's out, man. It's in other states now. And we're withdrawing from the World Health Organization. And we have that disgusting freak, Robert Kennedy Jr., running the CDC. Mr. Will 73. Paul, if 2 executions by ICE, then Bondi tries to extort walls for voter info, does not have Congress act like the Epstein law to abolish ICE, impeach Trump, Noam, and Bondi, then what the fuck will? They won't. Republicans will not. They could do this with the stroke of a pen. John Thune could do this with the stroke of a pen. He could. He absolutely could. Democrats cannot. We cannot. They're in the minority. That was a huge mistake. One second. I want to check and see if Bobby ever got back with me. No, I didn't hear back from Bobby. Must have missed the email. Anyways, we'll get Bobby Cole on here in another day. He approached me, said he wanted to come on today, and then didn't hear from him. So I got to tell you, I understand why. This guy is about the hardest working man in politics right now. He is running all over this state. I'm really looking forward to a conversation with him. He was, again, supposed to be here today, but you never know. Might have had technical issues. Hell, he might have caught the flu. I don't know. But we'll find out. We'll find out. We've got a few minutes left. Is there anything that y'all would like to discuss that I haven't talked about? Or discuss anything I did talk about? And again, I'm sorry I lost my temper. I just can't with this attacking Democrats anymore. I just can't. I can't with these people that are like, I literally had somebody that I took time out of my life to have a conversation with on social media where I explained Republicans don't care if the government's shut down. So what force do you have that's going to force them to capitulate on anything that you want? They're just not going to. And when that doesn't happen, when there's no deal to be had, Democrats aren't just going to punish government workers for no reason. They're not going to. It's not who we are. It's not in the brand, man. We don't do that. It's not who we are. And this person actually responded that the shutdown is the point, and that's all that matters. And it's like, wow, really? I mean, these really are people's lives that you're dealing with. A shutdown is not like a video game, social media video game thing. When you shut down the government, people really do get hurt. And vital services that the government provides, they don't get done. It's not a game. So yeah, I'm gonna do a video when I'm feeling better and I'm not as spicy. But I'm gonna shed a lot of our, we're building a community here. And I will tell you, I would rather have a dozen hardcore pipe hitting motherfuckers than I would 100,000 clickbait sons of bitches. I would. Ride or die. Because my goal is to get people to put Democrats back in power in the midterms. My goal after that is to get people to put a Democrat in the White House. And once that everything's returned to normal, my long-term goal is to pull the Democratic Party left, make it a party that's more focused on the people. We have hard decisions coming up because of the financial mess that Trump is creating. We have hard decisions coming up. And I definitely want Democrats making those decisions. They actually give a shit about the people. Jordan Miller, the fight will be in the elections. That's right, brother. Agent Cajun John, I met Bill Cassidy last week, and no, it sounds like he wants Trump examined. That's a positive. There are some Republicans that are starting to get a whiff that this may not be going as well as they'd hoped. And the fact that they're getting all of these things that they thought would be a good thing and are turning out not to be a good thing. Like the oligarchs really thought transferring the tax burden from them to us via tariffs was going to be great. We would just get used to the new prices and everything's going to be fine. And that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened. And it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. There are some Republicans out there that are starting to realize that they're screwed. Did you see Bill Maher call Mamdani a communist? He is under Trump's spell. I couldn't believe it. I don't watch Bill Maher. He's done. He's done. Stick a fork in that guy. He's done. He is. There's nothing left to see. He's Dennis Miller 2.0. It won't be long and he'll be canceled from HBO for a lack of audience. If government shuts down, what does that mean? ICE would not get paid? No, ICE will get paid, man. That won't happen in a government shutdown. ICE will get paid. Maher is insane. And again, narratives are so important. They are so important. And the Republicans are so good at recognizing this. They really are. You've got to take your hat. I mean, you got to take your hat off to Republicans for understanding that from the day the election happened of Mamdani in New York. They have been running false stories. I saw one just yesterday where they were talking about on social media. Somebody had linked that New York was a disaster, that there were riots, and they had a peaceful protest. It was a great day. It was a great day. But they have been running these false narratives continuously, just like the same accounts that were against Democrats in the last election have been running false information that, trying to say things that Democrats can't do or control are the Democrats' fault. They do it every day. And it sticks. That narrative, by the way, has taken off. So many people on social media right now, and we have to combat that. The minute anything happens, they'll tell you why it's the Democrats' fault, even though the Democrats aren't running our government in any way, shape, or form and have very limited power to do anything. It's just every day, all the time. They will continue to attack Mamdani every day. We have to stay active in supporting these people. Yeah, Mamdani got elected. We can't just leave him out there in the wind. We can't. We've got to be pro Mamdani. We do. And when he screws up, because he will screw up, because all politicians do, no party is perfect, folks. No party is perfect. Somewhere somebody does something really freaking stupid. When they do it, you've got to have their backs. You do. Allison Adamson, thank you for being here. Young, local to East Texas. What can we do to help people see what's happening? If you're in East Texas, you are surrounded by people that you can't help. You're surrounded by MAGA that you can't help. What you can do is you can help your local Democratic Party in whatever county you're in. You can help them be more active. You can help them coalesce those blue dots together. You know, I was at a meeting just the other day with some Democrats, and again, it was reiterated. I was giving a speech about being proud to be a Democrat. And what did I get back? Was, yeah, but I don't like to put bumper stickers on my car or put my signs out because, those Republicans will vandalize it. That is really what we're facing here in East Texas. Well, you just saw that the other day in Longview. Fucking heroes out there protesting ICE, age 64 to 91. Old folks letting the world know that not everybody agrees with this here in East Texas. They got attacked. That is what is around here. I could read the comments from that local news story about that, and the MAGA comments are horrific. They are horrific. You're not going to reach those people. You're not. I don't suggest you spend your time trying to do it. Build up Democrats, bring those blue dots together, coalesce them together, start at the bottom and work your way up. And local elections in East Texas are often divided by, you're talking about a couple hundred people vote, period. I mean, yeah, you can take over locally if you just coalesce the blue dots. Jordan B. Miller, when was the last time the Democrats changed the tax code? It will be done in 2029. Yep. Sooner than that, I would bet, after the midterms. E.T., after watching Jim Jordan at the Jack Smith hearing, I can't wait to see him get voted out of this November. Let's get involved. Let's do that work. Do it. Yeah. And folks, this is what I want to stress to you, and why I get very upset at these people pushing the anti-democratic narrative, these voter suppression. They're voter suppression narratives, and there are some big accounts doing it. They pretend to be left, but 80% of the shit they put out is anti-democrat. That's voter suppression, and it's intentional. Folks, we have elections coming up in 6 days left in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. You've got 10 months. 10 months to build the infrastructure, to get out, to knock on doors, to message to people enough that things sink in. That's not a lot of time. That is not a lot of time. And if you want to take somebody down like Jim Jordan, you've got to be working right now today. New West Bill, my hope comes from being part of this group. Thank you all so much. I'm telling you, best group anywhere, really is. There's a couple people out there that are, but good group. You are the best group on the internet. You really are. George Allen, without cameras, they wouldn't have recorded George Floyd or Rodney King. Yep. Keep those cell phones on you, folks. Keep those cell phones on you. And hey, I want to thank you folks for the response to the Heart and Skulls pins. It's been massive. I may have underordered these. The response has been massive. I'm glad to see that you're liking them, and I'm glad to see you're getting the message out there. Get some rest, plenty of hot liquids. Hard to do this without you. Folks, I want to end this show with a plea to you. there were a lot of big left-leaning accounts that you can go to and look at what they were saying before the last election. And it was an anti-Democratic Party message. Right now, they pretend to be leftist accounts, but 80% of what they say is Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. And why isn't Chuck Schumer in Minnesota? Because it's not his fucking job to go to Minnesota. We send other congressmen to Minnesota, other senators to Minnesota to do the press conferences. We don't, Chuck Schumer doesn't do that. That's not his job. %80 of what they say is voter suppression. And it's intentional. It's intentional. It hasn't changed since the last general election. And those people have to go. You know, I'm not one to tell people, hey, you suppress somebody's speech or whatever. No, I'm not. I'm not. You know, opposing views are great. They'll either make your views stronger or they will just wither away, or their views will wither away. But folks, we can't have this. We just can't. And I will tell you, a lot of it is based in racism, anti-Semitism to be specific. You know, Chuck Schumer is Jewish. He is. And he's cast some votes that if you're from the surrounding areas around Israel, if you're somewhere in the Levant, your people are, you're not going to be too happy with some of those votes. And that's legitimate. That is legitimate. You want to bitch about that? Great. That's legitimate. But to turn your social media into a full-time hate on Chuck Schumer, even when he does something good, it's not enough. You're a voter suppression operation is what you are. And honestly, I don't think these people are too sad to see another Republican run because it's destroying America. And I think some of these people would be happy to see that happen. And I hate to say that out loud, but it really is the truth. I think some of these people that pretend to be leftists would love to see America burn to the ground. And we've just got to stop that because we're it, man. We're it. We're the ones that are going to push this over the line. And I need you to be focused. I need you to be on it. I need you to tamp down the anti-democratic rhetoric and focus on, you know, when somebody says Chuck Schumer or 7 Democrats voted for or whatever. Yeah, you know what? John Thune could have stopped this with the stroke of a pen. John Thune could have stopped this with the stroke of a pen. He could do it today. ET, less than 41 weeks until the November election. It is coming on us fast. It is. I mean, it will be the blink of an eye. But that's what I've got for you today, folks. I hope it's been useful. I do apologize. I got a little salty. Yeah, I should have just educated there and not gone after that commenter. I should have, and I'm sorry. I do apologize, and it is sincere. But that's got to stop. That kind of talk has to stop. If you do not understand that the Democratic Party has a few members in highly conservative districts that on occasional votes are going to vote problematically, you do not understand enough about politics to be trying to lead on social media. Because that is the way it is, folks. We are not the Republicans. We do not goose step. We're like herding cats. It's just who we are. It's just who we are. But I love you folks. On that note, enjoy some Texas cities at night.